Welcome to Hack with Shruti. Today we will be learning about basics of JWT tokens. So let's get started. Okay, so today we are going to learn about JSON web tokens. Okay, so I am sharing my presentation. I hope it is very clear to all of you. So now firstly let us see what is this JWT? So this JWT stands for JSON Web Token. Okay. So it is JSON, it is web, it is token. All right. So now this is basically a standard which is used for transmitting the information between one party to another party securely in the form of JSON objects. If you check online what are JSON objects, it is JavaScript object notation. Okay. So now here if I will show you all what are JSON objects. Okay. So now let me share my full screen. Okay. Can you see JSON web, yeah, JSON, yeah, JavaScript object notations. So here if you can see, now, let me give you a simple example. You just see here. See, here we have this JSON, let's say type. Here we have information stored in the form of key value pairs. We have type, phone, price 120, in stock true, feature. Then in the feature we have HD camera, Wi-Fi, LT. So now what is this? It is basically the way of representation, okay, where we have the information stored in the form of key value pairs. All right, so now let's come to the screen. Now let's see this. Okay. All right, so now since we know that we are using JSON web tokens for securely transmission of information between the parties, okay, and here information which is being transmitted is there in the form of JSON objects. All right, now this concept of JSON web token, it is it's a very popular method and is widely used for authentication and information exchange between the web applications. All right, now let us see this. So yes, you can just see that it's an open standard for securely transmitting the information between parties as a JSON object. Right? Now let us analyze the structure of a JWT token. Okay. So a JSON web token consists of three parts separated by a dot. So these three parts include header, payload, and signature. So header dot payload dot signature. All right. Now if I will be talking about this header, now this header is also having, broadly speaking, this header is also having majorly two parts. Okay. One is the algorithm part and second is basically the type part. So below you all can see that the firstly we are having ALG for algorithm, then we have TYP for type. Okay, so this algorithm is basically so here we can see it is the signing algorithm which is being used. All right, now this is the type of algorithm. All right, now here we are seeing the type, that this token type is a JSON web token. So this is the part of header. So if I talk about structure of a JSON web token, it is having three parts. The first part is header, then we have payload, and then we have signature. Now this header part is mainly having these two components, algorithm and type. And in this algorithm, the type of algorithm is being written, and in the type it is written like what type of token it is. So it's a JSON web token. So here it's written JWT. All right, so here below you can just see this example, that here we have algorithm. type. So it's a header. Okay. All right. Now see. Now all these components, all these parts of a JSON web token, they are being converted to base64 format. Okay, means onto this data, base64 encoding is being done. All right. So this is the standard. Okay, so we can't change that. Like onto that encoding we can add more encryption. Like we can use encryption and hashing to make it more secure, but generally whenever you talk about JSON web tokens, or either like all these components, header, payload and signature, they are encoded to the base64 format. All right. Now for example, this is my token. This is the token. Okay. Let me copy this token value, and now we are just coming. Yes, now that is the token value. And now let me go to CyberChef. So you all might have used CyberChef. It's a tool with the help of which we can easily convert our data from one format to another format. So now in this CyberChef, I am basically giving this data as the input. Okay. Now here I am just going to base64. Now can you see? Now here, like, let me be more precise. Let me just clear out these spaces, as spaces are being considered as the character. Okay. So here I have just removed it. And okay. So now can you see? This is the so now this header is being encoded into this format. Okay. So now if I'll just come to my presentation, now see how this will be stored. This separated by a dot. Now the below the payload. Okay. Now this payload is also encoded. Then dot. Then this last thing signature is also encoded, and then dot. All right. Now let us understand this payload. So now see. Now this payload is basically having the data which contains the claims. So you need to know this terminology. Here I am opening this page. Let me draw. So we are seeing about payloads. Now this payload is containing claims. Okay. Now what are these claims? Now these claims are basically the statements about any entity, let's say user, and the metadata. So now the second component of JSON web token is storing the payload. Payload is containing the claims. Now what is this? Now what is this claim? Now this claim is a statement about the user and the additional metadata. All right. So now below you can just see, here you can just see that we are having the subject. So, and then we have the name of the person. We have so now here we are just like, now it's defined admin. If John Doe is a admin, now then it's true, else it's false. Okay. And yeah, so now this is the payload. Okay. So now we have some more attributes here. Now even this payload value is encoded to base64 format. So here if I'm just copying, now let's come to CyberChef. Now let's paste it and see the output. So let me remove the spaces. Okay, so now for the example, we are just taking this. So now it is separated by dot and then this value. Okay, now, okay, now below see, we have the signature, right? So this signature is ensuring tokens integrity and authenticity, and like, and it is created by whom? So in the signature, we have basically these like, so here, like, these are the dummy data which I have given. All right. So now even this information is encrypted. Now let me do Control C, and here we are coming. Let me clear out everything, and we are pasting it. Now you just see we have this data. Okay. So now we are just copying and we are pasting it here. Dot and then the data. So now this is how our base. So now this is how it is, and it is an example of JSON web token. Okay. So when you will be opening your browser, and now let's say if you are searching for JSON web tokens, then this is how you will be seeing the structure. So I am sharing my screen. Now can you all see my screen? Now you all just see here. Yes, so like we have discussed this earlier too. Can you see this thing, this image? So firstly, we are having the header, then we have the payload, and then we have the signature. Okay. And all this data, it is in the form of base64 encoded value. Got it? Now I am coming to my presentation, and now let's see the concepts again. Okay. So now let us understand like how this JSON web token is actually working. So let me clear out everything from the screen. And we are seeing, so like in very brief, we shall be seeing its working of JWT. All right. So see, now the first phase is the authentication phase. And now in authentication phase, what is happening? This is the user and it's the server. Okay. So this user is logging in via the credentials. So login via credentials. Okay. Now server is validating the credentials and is generating the JWT. So server is generating the JWT. Okay. And now this JWT is sent back to the client. All right. And see, and inside the client browser, so yesterday I showed you like where is the local storage and session storage. Inside those places, so see, this token can be stored in cookies also. So whether in cookie or in local storage or in the session storage, it is stored. Here, let me show this to everybody. So now here you can just see I am doing right click and then inspect. Okay. All right. So now here, if you will be seeing that we are having uh, storage. Okay. Now in this storage, we have this local storage. Okay. And then we have the session storage. So either this JWT token can be stored in local storage or in session storage or inside the cookie. Got it? All right. Now, see, now let's see the second phase. Now see, now let's revise this. In the first phase, what is happening? The user is trying to, like, the user is has entered his login credentials, and server has sent the JWT token to the user itself. And now inside the user's browser, like, or inside the local storage or session storage or in the cookie section, this JWT token is getting stored. All right. Now see, now if I talk about authorization, now let's say there are subsequent requests. Okay. So now the client will be sending the JSON web token to the server. Okay, and server will be verifying the token, and if the token is valid, then the request will be accepted. So this is how the JSON web token is working with the users and clients, like with the user and the server. Okay, all right. So now see, now here, okay. So now let's see, like what are more use cases of JSON web tokens. So the first thing which we have discussed is authentication. Okay, like they are helpful in exchanging the information securely between the user and the server, and they are mainly used in single sign-on systems. Okay. Now let's say you might be knowing about single sign-on, right? Where we are not directly entering our data, we are using any third-party application for the login. So in those scenarios, JSON web tokens are most widely used. Okay. All right. Now, whenever we need to transmit the information securely, and we want that token should be like the information should be expired uh, earlier, which is stored in the browser. So for those scenarios, we can use JSON web tokens in our applications.
Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, then please subscribe the channel. Thank you.